We're live.
All right, you got the
Happy
new
Monday.
Wait, I gotta pop this out again. I was trying to get ready. Ah, no. There we go. There it is. Okay, there it is. All right, cool. Okay.
Get all sorted out. Cool.
I think so. I don't know. It'll probably break later. That's what it usually does. Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome back. Everybody that's in chat, we've only got a couple right now. I expect people to filter in as they filter in. They usually do. Fridays.
but it's the important ones.
It is. The
Yeah,
important
Hugo
ones.
and Zombie were here first.
Yeah.
That's right. I
Dude,
think they started off
Hugo
for a
Slum
little
was
bit.
all set, man. He is
heavy
all
waves
set.
back
got
from
his
the
talking
dead's
points
here.
already.
Hugo's already completed the argument.
Yeah. So good night, everyone. Brother Chris popped in.
Sunsoft
Man.
NES Batman sucks. Change my mind. It doesn't suck. Your mind has changed, sir.
Well, are we talking?
Yeah, he's on this Batman sucks tear today, so don't just ignore him.
Yeah, but that's probably because Mazen had shown a Batman today.
I'm
Yeah.
not saying the Genesis one sucked. They don't. Well, okay, maybe the Batman and Robin beat 'em up one that's like way too frantic. That one's a little but the actual the first Batman game I think is actually really good on there. The one
It
that
is
was
really good.
off the 1989 one. I just like the NES one a little bit better. I just find it more fun.
Was that
overall.
Sunsoft? Yes, it was. Oh my
Yes, it
god,
was.
it was Sunsoft. That was a great
Hey
game.
Cam, hey
That was a
Fastback,
great
Mazza
game.
Powers in the chat. Heavy
Yeah,
Waves is back
Mazen-
again.
Mazen was playing Rise of the Joker, so he put out a video on Rise of the Joker. That's probably why he said
Mazen,
that.
I'm not going to change your name. I feel like Alpha could use a kiss.
And then also 21 Sandwich. He
Savage.
put out a no death run of the first Batman game on the NES.
I need to watch that.
So that's why
one
Steve
I wanna
Alpha
start
Nerd is so
playing.
salty because he had to watch everyone's Batman videos today. So
Yeah, I think that's I think I need to do like one more maybe week or two attempt on Earthworm Jim and I call that one. And then move on to say something like Batman. I just honestly just don't enjoy Earthworm Jim. It's probably more of a me thing. I just don't find it all that fun.
You've now
So-
said this multiple weeks in a row.
I have.
I thought we already moved past this, but
Yeah, we did, but
Yeah,
I keep thinking I
this
need
is-
to wrap that up and then move forward. That's going to be
He
a
has-
fail on my end.
Yeah, he has EWJST.
I have post-traumatic Earthworm Jim syndrome.
right. PTEWJ.
So
Oh my goodness.
has
Thank you,
been-
Mazen.
it has been a minute. How was your weekend? We'll go with Mike first this time.
Oh, mine was busy. You might want to go with Rob first.
Oh, okay, fine.
Yeah.
How was your weekend?
mine was also kind of busy.
Oh, well, never mind.
Everybody was busy except for like me.
Oh.
Yeah, we had a family event on Friday, and then Easter, and I guess it wasn't that busy.
Oh, happy Easter, my Gentile brothers,
you.
by the way.
Thank you. I didn't really do anything for Easter.
Neither
We
did
didn't
I.
really do
so
You
don't
anything.
worry.
had
We went to-
Seder, right?
That was on Friday and Saturday night. That was
Okay.
for Passover.
We went to church on Sunday morning, and that was all we really did for Easter. So, and we also had a ham for dinner. So,
I had none of that.
I guess you probably
Well, it's
wouldn't.
Passover. So you don't eat that on Passover.
I don't eat that at all.
And depending on how Jewish you are, you don't eat it at all.
Right.
Yeah.
So, in fact, I do not have my usual popcorn tonight because technically I'm not supposed to have popcorn. However, a company makes these pretzel thins that have no yeast in them. And they taste okay. So that's my snack for today.
There's a very low bar when you go, meh.
It's look, this is Passover, or as I like to call it, Atkins week. I can't have any
Zombie
breaded.
says those are really good with hummus.
Yeah,
and hummus
zombie.
is
We had
actually good for you.
pretzel
I-
spins
yeah.
also with hummus. So
Pretzel, yeah,
You're
and
onto
I
something.
love a good hummus. I do love a good hummus.
I miss some codes for here. When Konami fall off the wagon and stop making good games? When did they really stop making games? Hold on, I got a timeline
when was the last
here.
really good game?
I'm trying to
Metal Gear
remember their
Solid 4?
main
No,
timeline here because at some
Metal
point
Gear
they just
Solid
started doing
5.
like we're kind
that
of
was
jumping
like at the
ahead.
beginning of
but
the
we'll
end.
get it.
Actually, that was past the beginning of the end. That
Yeah,
was
Metal Gear
Right.
Solid
the end of the end.
5.
Because I mean, they were fighting with Kojima the entire time. So
Well, yeah,
Yeah, Chris says since Kojima left.
yeah.
well, Kojima left for a reason though. So that's why I
Yes.
think that Konami sucked before, long before then. So
See, they started doing a lot of rhythm games at one point. I've got a list of like the games that they released over the years because I just pulled it up on like Wikipedia real quick as a quick reference tonight as we were kind of talking. And I'll pull these up so we can compare these as we get into the topic. But I figured we'd do our usual round robin of catching up with everybody, catching up with chat before we get like, too far in. So, Mike, what all did you do this weekend? I know Friday and Saturday you did Passover,
Right. So we had 2 Seders, and what's really cool about that is we have 3 or 4 non-Jewish families that love to come to our Seders because our Seder, my Seder because I've been running our family Seders since my grandfather passed away. And I've even run them, when my dad was still alive, they would come to our house. And I run a more traditional Jewish Passover Seder. So I'd say not a lot. Well, yeah, about half of it in Hebrew, half of it in English. But a lot of things that gets people involved. And so we've got non-Jewish families that just absolutely love to come and be part of it. So it's like, it's my favorite holiday. It really is. And so, that was Friday night and Saturday night. And then on Sunday, just relaxed, just recovered.
Yeah.
So, and then this goes till Friday. And after Friday, I can eat bread again.
Friday night I did my normal kind of like hang out with my buddy thing. We all three went to dinner for like Mexican. And I had started drinking a little bit earlier than that because the office wanted to do like a get together at a place here called, and you guys may or may not have heard of it, called Twin Peaks. It's kind of like Hooters, only it's a local place. And it's a little more risque, I guess is the best way to put it. So
a little bit more risque than Hooters.
Yeah. Friday's lingerie day. So they normally wear like a tied up flannel shirt and like cut off Daisy Dukes kind of thing during the week, but Friday they usually do like a different thing, and they'll have different theme nights and stuff like that they do. So that was everybody's decision. So we went over there and I was like, okay, cool. I'll have like one beer and then I'll like chat for a little while and then I'll head home and get ready to go to dinner because I knew I was probably going to have a margarita or two there and then go over to my buddy's house and drink a lot. And then somebody put another beer in front of me and I'm like, crap. Well, I guess I'm drinking two now. I managed to get out of there before somebody dropped the third one in front of me because when she dropped the second one, I go, I didn't order that. And she goes, I know. And I'm like, damn it. That means it was gifted. So I'm required to drink it now. So, and then Saturday we did my much belated birthday dinner. That was at a nice French place. So we did that. And then Sunday I got the urge for a while to get back into Demon Souls a little bit. So I did some practice on that, trying to get more used to that game again, and did a bunch of recording on both Saturday and Sunday for the next game mechanics that I'm frantically trying to get ready to go out this week. I hope. I'm about 4 minutes or so in, and it looks like it's going to be just under 14 minutes. So I may or may not get through that this week. I'm going to try. I spent a lot of time the night before we started tonight after I got done making the thumbnail and everything, grabbing various different footage and stuff that I needed to put together to kind of show the points that I wanted to show. And just editing some of it together tonight. So we'll see how that goes. Canadian gamers like Demon Souls, grr. Yeah, Demon Soul. The Souls games are hard, dude, and I keep wanting to love them, and I keep struggling with them, and it's just one of those things. Like eventually, I kind of want to get over the like venomous. This isn't really all that fun, and kind of figure out what people are really on about with the series. And so I think pushing through one of them is the key to starting to do that. And that seems to be where everybody kind of like starts to click, like after you finally beat one. So I don't know. I'm going to struggle with it a little bit, see if maybe it's for me. If not, I may try like another one because I've got Bloodborne. I haven't messed with that one yet. Elden Ring keeps looking tempting, and then I keep remembering I'm terrible at Souls games, and they frustrate me, and I hold off on it. So, welcome, by the way, Canadian gamer. It's good to see you.
As much as I hate the Souls games, by rights, I shouldn't, because I love Ninja Gaiden. And I don't mean like the NES Ninja Gaiden. I mean like the Xbox Ninja Gaiden. And honestly, Souls is the Ninja Gaiden of games.
Souls is kind of the Ninja Gaiden. And I got pretty far in the original Ninja Gaiden. I got all the way to where you had to do all that weird platforming to get to the girl to pull you up to the last boss. And for some reason, I could not find the last platform or two to get to her and kept falling into the lava. I had a resurrection stone. I kept having to jump around repeatedly to kill myself multiple times because there was no way out of that pit to reset it, and finally just got fed up. And I was done. So I didn't even actually get to fight the last fight. Carla's here!
Carla!
Yay! I was missing you.
Show now.
We can start the show now. Carla's here. We couldn't get officially started till Carla got here. I'm always sad when Carla's not here. So, we have what is probably could be a really interesting debate or a very one-sided debate, depending on what games you like, in Konami versus Capcom. Now, Capcom early on has a lot of good games. They have stuff like Bucky O'Hare. They have stuff like Contra. Most of the good Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles games, the earlier ones, mind you, are done by them. So they have a pretty good pedigree, at least early on, and then they do have stuff like Metal Gear and Metal Gear Solid as well in the repertoire. So, and then Capcom on the other side has multiple very, very good franchises, such as like Darkstalkers, Dead Rising, Planet, Resident Evil, Monster Hunter, Mega Man, Strider, Street Fighter, Bionic Commando, which I really feel like needs another resurgence, quite frankly. It's had a few, and I think the Reloaded did okay, and I think the original one was really good, and I don't remember the one where they tried to make it 3D. I don't think I ever picked that one up. I didn't see very good reviews on that one when it came out, and I kind of skirted past that one. Was it?
Yeah, I liked it a lot, honestly. Except for the who's the singer from Zombie probably knows. The singer from Faith No More, he was the voice of Rad Spencer.
I'd be okay with that.
I didn't like that.
He has a weird voice to voice a character. It's really good when he's like doing albums, though. I like that band sound a lot.
Yeah, as a voice actor, he was annoying to be in the game, but yeah, the rest of the game was fine.
That's because you are loved here, Carla.
I was just typing that. Oh my God. I was literally just typing because we do love you, Sister Carla.
So,
great mind, thinks alike.
Where do you guys want to start? Do you guys want to talk about one and then the other? Do you going to kind of do it back and forth, or how do you guys want to do this? And chat, you can be involved in that too. Just let us know kind of how you want to do it, or if we kind of just go all over the board. Which we
throw a poll up,
which we do a lot of.
Yeah, we'll start with that.
That's fine. We'll do that.
But we could. I figured we just kind of do a quick round table of what each of our picks are and why, I guess. And then we could argue about it like we always do.
Yes, because it's been 2 weeks and no one's told me to shut up.
That's right. I have a
So,
feeling
shut
there's going
up.
to be at least one person who's wrong.
You're welcome.
So
Thank you. Thank you. Now I feel like it's a retro roots.
Okay.
Now we can start Retro Roots. Mike has officially been told to shut up.
All right, the more I eat of these, the better they taste.
You know, I've found a couple of like weird gluten-free things. Like there were some gluten-free cookies I found one time. There was like a mint chocolate chip that was actually really solid. I was surprised at how good it was for
There's some good.
like being gluten-free.
I will give modern day stuff credit, and they companies try very, very, very hard to make Passover foods taste good. And you can get cakes and cookies and all kinds of stuff that typically, 30 years ago you couldn't get. All we ate were, Jello rolls or.
How many votes do we've got one vote. No,
one vote.
We got 8 votes, and it's Konami first, like 100%. Wow. Okay. And Alvo does this a lot. He's like, well, Capcom just made the same game over and over again. Well, Metroid's just the same game over and over again. Not really, but it's okay, man. We love you anyway. I mean, there are a lot of Mega Mans on the
also
NES.
likes to make arguments that he knows are going to lose. So that's just, he likes to
the
take
formula
that side.
for Mega Man 6 while defeating each one of the bosses and fighting Wily and all that stuff remained in play throughout the series. There were a lot of new mechanics, different weapons, different things here and there that changed up the gameplay significantly, and the stages were vastly different.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of variety in those games, regardless of it being a 1 through 6. And Konami kind of would do the same thing with Metal Gear. I mean, it's still Metal Gear Solid, whatever. It's just, a new game. So you're playing that character again. He's got some of the abilities that he had before, and he gets some new ones and this and the other. That kind of thing. That's part of the adventure, dude. Is she gets depowered in various ways, and you have to collect stuff up. Either you kind of get that, or you're probably not going to have a whole lot of fun with Metroidvania style games. I would imagine you would struggle with a lot of the later Castlevanias as well, for that reason, because it's kind of the same thing.
All right, who's going first here?
Well, did your poll just decide which company we're going to talk about first? Or?
Oh, right now we've got 14 votes, and it's 79% Konami and 21% Capcom.
No,
I guess which one is better?
Ooh.
No, I think this is just where we're starting. I'm not counting this as which is better.
What do you think people are voting for when they say you go talk about?
I just said which goes first. That's what I put as it. I didn't say which one wins. I said which one goes first.
Okay.
Well,
yes, every game.
Every single game. We got this.
It's very important.
5 Konami games. We're going to go over each one in exhausting detail.
Game.
So, how do you went to the bathroom, Steve? Because
just get a bucket.
All right, I'm going to call this here. It's run for about 3 minutes. We got 14 votes. That's most of the people in the chat. So Konami goes first.
Okay.
And I'm going to put another one up for which one between the two people prefer.
All right.
I wonder if they're going to be the same.
Probably.
I think so.
There's kind of an odd. You should specify what your first.
Yes. The third vote. The third option should still be Sega.
I know about that.
You just wanted to win once.
I need vengeance from last.
Would he win though against Sega versus Konami and Capcom?
I think he might still lose.
Win that one.
Yeah, no, Sega wouldn't win out on that. As good as Sega's stuff is, I mean, there's the pedigree. The pedigree isn't quite. The pedigree wasn't quite there for Sega until the 16-bit era. So, I would say no.
So Eating Paste is here. Hey,
What's
man,
up,
how's it
Eating
going?
Paste?
Good to see you. Jan's been here. Peppering us with
Scepter's
questions.
here. Vash Starwind is here.
Yes, Vash is here. Fantastic. Good to see you, man. Glad you're here.
He said hi to everybody.
Scepter. I don't know if we said hi to Scepter or not. If not, hi,
I
Scepter.
said
I'm
hi
sorry.
in the chat.
I did. I was talking to Scepter earlier.
I'm sorry. I
We
don't know
were
if I said hi
having-
to Scepter now. I've said hi.
we were having Charlton Heston is the best Moses conversation.
Fair enough. So, we're gonna. The best way I know to start off with the Konami is Contra.
Mhm.
Really?
That's gonna be the first one I'm gonna throw out there is Contra.
Really?
Well,
Yeah.
how would you start?
How would you start with Konami?
I would start with track and field.
No one likes that game. Let's start with
What?
Contra.
Yeah, nobody likes that game.
Are you kidding me? How about I don't know, Frogger?
You mean that
Nobody-
Sega Genesis game?
Nobody remembers that game.
Nobody remembers Frogger. What? What? Oh my goodness. Oh,
This is gonna be a rough one for you.
it's gonna be a rough one. I cannot believe. Of course, then again, you got to remember while everybody else was playing Karate Champ, which was of course Data East, I was playing Ye Are Kung Fu, which was Konami.
Hmm.
Got to Time Pilot.
I do love me some Time Pilot.
Time Pilot was before Contra.
I'm aware.
I don't
But
think
when you say Konami to 99% of the population, if it's not Metal Gear Solid, it's Contra
or Castlevania.
Or Castlevania.
or Castlevania.
Well,
Or Silent Hill.
I mean, or Silent Hill, or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, or The Simpsons.
Well, then the X-Men game.
The X-Men, right? The X-Men game.
They did the X-Men arcade game?
Mhm.
They published that one? Okay.
Yep.
What's up, Phil? Everyone, Phil's here.
Hey, Phil. Yeah,
Phil!
see?
Phil,
Good to
get the
see you,
vote.
Phil. Oh, I like the new icon, man. Is that on you?
From the-
I like that.
it's okay. It's okay, Chris. I get this.
Oh, I remember Frogger from that Seinfeld episode.
Yes. That was. If you can find that on YouTube, you need to bring that up and show that.
Oh,
That-
no.
What I wanted to know about that episode was, I understand the idea of the battery backup for the arcade, but how did he keep his score by unplugging it from the wall and plugging it into the battery? Because he just lost his power that way. Did they
You had to
explain that in the
No,
episode?
you have to suspend a little bit of reality.
Well, I couldn't dispense. I was distracted by that when I was watching the episode. It's like, how did that even work? Did you rip the outlet out of the wall?
Worried about whether he could get the arcade game across the street. No, he was worried about how to keep the score.
Well, that's the whole point of why he wanted to take the arcade
Hey,
home.
Hasselhoff.
Hey, Hasselhoff. Good to see
What's
you, man.
up, brother?
So I'm gonna try to bring this up.
Blades of Steel.
You know what? I'm gonna mute this because if I play the audio on this, we're likely to get striked.
This is true.
So let me see if I can share this real quick.
This is the funniest.
I had completely forgotten about this, and I think I've seen all of Seinfeld.
Double dribble. Yeah, here it is.
So I guess they're trying to figure out how the heck to
How to get
Move
the
the
arcade
machine.
Yeah, he's like, oh wait,
how to get it across
I know how to
the
do
street.
this.
by yourself.
Stand aside, Jerry. And then the music starts playing. Dun, 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 dun. And he's
That's kind of awesome.
Oh my goodness, this is
Wow, they really played it up too.
yes.
That's kind of awesome.
Oh my goodness, this was great. Notice they couldn't actually show the real. Oh, and he can't get it.
Oh no!
There's the real marquee.
Yep, that's the real marquee.
Oh, that's sad.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
that's pretty good.
Oh man. That was so funny. And just the fact that during that they played the Frogger music. That's what made it the funniest.
Yeah, I would have liked to play the audio, but I know YouTube very quickly
YouTube
will shut down streams. They did
Yes.
it. They did it to Zombie like multiple times the other night. I felt so bad for him because they're trying to go over 80s movies and like it seemed like every 5 minutes somehow like
An
they
easy
kept
one
getting
shut
shut down. It was awful. I felt
Well,
terrible
remember
for
how
him.
much trouble you had just trying to do a Ghostbusters
Oh God, I know. I know.
review.
I know. Well, I actually, when I finally put in a claim on that, it got dropped pretty quickly. There have been a few times where they've actually been pretty prompt on dropping claims, but it's not all that regular.
Yeah. So getting back to Konami, I'm sad because there's such a treasure trove of Konami. Russian Attack, better known as
Green Beret.
Green Beret. I don't remember, and maybe you can help me with that. What was the difference? It was the same game. Why did it have two names?
I believe Green Beret was the international title. Like
Okay.
our British friends know it as Green Beret.
Got it.
And I think Russian Attack might have actually just appealed more, or maybe we actually have a movie called Green Beret. That's a lot of times that was why they had to change the name of video games, because
there is a movie
holding that title.
Could be. That could be it.
Like Gunsmoke, they had to do something weird with that to let it fly. That might be what it was, because Green Beret makes a bit more. Russian Attack, I guess, appealed to 80s.
Yes.
Remember when we were at war
Red Dawn
in the 80s?
Red Dawn and all that. Yep. So, but these are the games that I grew up with. I mean, when you say Konami, yes, you definitely think Contra, but I think of these older ones. I mean, I think of Russian Attack, and I think of Time Pilot, and I think of Yar Kung Fu, and I think of Sunset Riders and Scramble. One of the Scramble was like Cosmic Avenger that came out on the ColecoVision. It was like the closest thing I could think of. It was like one of the first of the good scrolling. I guess it was like 1981, so it was about the time Defender and all those were out. What else did I mean, I wasn't as into Konami's shmups as I was Capcom. So when we get to Capcom, I'll wax poetic there. Like Time Pilot definitely was one of my favorites. But like Twin B and Gradius, I wasn't a big Gradius fan. So I wasn't into those particular shmups, but that's, Scramble was good. Time Pilot was awesome. But like I spent a lot of time playing Track and Field and Hyper Sports. Those were great.
See, I was never really big into sports games. I played Blades of Steel. I had fun with Blades of Steel.
Yeah. Double Dribble was another big one.
I never messed with Double Dribble. I didn't really have never had an affinity for basketball, like ever.
It was neat because it had what it did at the time was when you went to dunk, it turned into digitized still photos of somebody dunking the ball, right? And so that's what that happened. And the NES version and then the subsequent Genesis version. I'm sorry,
everything's funny when you say in Spanish. For some reason, it's immediately funny.
And then Pat Riley basketball for the Genesis kind of did a take on that, just without the digitized part. So Hasselhoff said I would loop the boards in Time Pilot, only arcade game I was proficient at.
Yeah, I could loop a couple of times on Time Pilot.
Yeah.
After that, it got a little too difficult. But I did see the last phase of Time Pilot and then loop back around. The original one, not like the remake. I didn't even know they had made another one later down the road, because I had kind of gotten out of smuts at that point. Yeah. But I had a lot of fond memories of Time Pilot, but that's probably. But I didn't even remember that Konami made that because I was so young when I played it. I wasn't even paying attention to publishers at that point.
There was another game. So there was another shmup that Konami put out that I did play a bit, not as much as I did some of the Capcom games, but Super Cobra was a good one. That was Konami.
Oh my god, guys! Oh my god!
Wow.
What's up, Wolfpack? Good to see you. I'm glad Capcom's getting some love. Oh my god. Poor Capcom.
I know.
Yeah, well, I kind of figured this is how it was going to go. So
I'm actually kind of surprised. I thought Capcom would get more love than
well, no,
Konami
I
because
mean, I'm talking about
they've
just
got
based
way
on your
more
first
current
poll, I just
franchises.
imagine
They've
the
got a
next
lot
one
of
would be just
legacy
the same.
franchises.
So
You what?
just based on your first poll, I just imagine this one would be the same. Yeah, pretty
Oh
much is.
yeah. I can see that.
But yeah, for asking people to choose between Konami and Capcom, I didn't have no idea what to would expect. I know what I would choose. But
Yeah, for me, it's usually
I think
Capcom.
people are more would have a harder time choosing between Konami and Capcom than they would Sega and Nintendo. Even back in the day.
Yeah. They both had their strengths. I mean, they really did. So Brother Peter's in the house.
Hey, Peter. Good to see you, man.
We got all the NLG representing tonight.
Dude, we got a ton of NLG in here tonight. That's great.
We do. But I was more impressed. Like there were other Konami games that I really enjoyed in the arcade. One other one, and this is not one that many people know. Anybody remember? She's gonna actually.
I don't know where to go with that one.
Oh my goodness! Remember? It was a game called Kicker. But basically, all you did was run around levels, and you were a kung fu guy, and you just kicked people. It was also called Shaolin's Road.
Okay.
I put a lot of quarters into that too.
See, I remember them more from the 8-bit era up. And I think it's because, like I said, that's when I really started paying attention to who was putting what out on what console.
Mm-hmm.
Right? In the arcade, it was very easy to not know who was putting what out. Just that the game was fun. Right? In the earlier consoles, I was so young when I had them. And a lot of times we didn't keep any of the boxes. There really wasn't anything in the box after you were done. That I wouldn't even know who made it. I would just be like, oh, I want to play Time Pilot, or I want to play Ladybug, or Smurfs, or whatever, and I just pop that in, not even thinking about who made it. Quite frankly,
the game developers right around the NES, they started becoming kind of rock stars themselves because you knew, even as an 8-year-old, that you would likely have a better time playing a Capcom game or a Konami game than you would
something else.
Like
right.
Who had a really shitty reputation back in the day. I don't think we made the connection about LGN back then either. You would have a better time playing a Konami or Capcom game than you would with a game likely that didn't have the name on the box.
Right.
So.
Unless it was a Nintendo Direct, like in the NES era, you generally lean towards those two because they had like the best repertoire out there for the most part.
They really did.
I mean, you had a few other developers that really did.
Well, Data East.
Oh, hey, Celestial, good to see you, man.
Hey, Celestial. Yeah, Data East had a powerful catalog.
Hey, Brian. Yeah, Brian's voting for LJN as being kind of like one of the rougher ones.
LJN.
But see, not a lot of us really put 2 and 2 together with them until later. Matter of fact, I didn't even really think about it until AVGN kind of made it a thing, right?
Right.
And then the more I looked at it, the more I'm like, yeah, those games are kind of tough to. Not only are they hard, but they're really clunky. Like a lot of them aren't as well put together.
They're hit or miss because they're all from like different developers. So
right. And I'm not saying they're all bad.
I'm
sure there's some that are good. Yeah. Sunsoft is another good solid one too.
Mm-hmm.
Like going back and thinking about it, you'll see a lot of really good stuff out of Sunsoft through the 8-bit and 16-bit era, and then they kind of like fall by the wayside. They kind of just like vanished, which was weird because they're a really strong developer, particularly in the 8-bit era. Data East has got some good stuff. I've got a cart that's got a bunch of Data East stuff on it, and it got some good stuff, but they're not as consistent. I agree. But as far as Konami, they had tons of good stuff in the 8-bit era. So let's just kind of look back. Let's see here. They start with, and let me just share this on screen here.
Mazen, there's no need to change your mind because you are correct, sir. No one who's in their right mind would argue with you.
So are we talking? So are we talking 8-bit console, or are you still looking at arcade as well?
I'm just kind of like looking at a quick list I found of like Konami games here. So they start out. They may be making stuff before this, but I see stuff back as far as 1977 with Blockyard, which a lot of these early ones I don't really recognize. Block Invader, Destroyer, Super Destroyer, Breaker, Car Chase, which sounds somewhat familiar. Space King, there were 2 of those. Spaceship, Space War, Space Games in 79. It was a thing. Maze, Frogger,
Jungler.
Where's that Frogger again? Was that
Strategy X, Super Cobra, Turtles,
Super Cobra,
Ultra Dome, Video Hustler. 82 was Time Pilot. There's a bunch of other stuff around there, but I think Time Pilot is probably the most noticed.
I forgot about Puyan.
I have no idea what any of the rest of these are. Gyrus. Apparently they mean Gyrus, which I kind of know a little bit. Rock and Rope sounds familiar. Track and Field. We've discussed a little bit. Hubert, which I hadn't even really thought was them.
Well, Hubert was more Gottlieb, but okay. All right.
How's it going?
Hey, Spooks, good to see you, man. Yeah, we're doing good, man. It's great to see you, by the way.
How you doing?
Batman, the movie game was good. Yes, it was.
Yep.
Lots of older Capcom Konami arcades were phased out in favor of Data East, Tengen, and Sega games. I can see that. I don't know that I particularly agree with that, but I can see that. As to why they're phased out, not that they were phased out. Sorry.
Right.
Want to be a little bit more clear on that. 84 had Badlands, Hypersports, no idea what that is.
Time Pilot 84.
Time Pilot 84. 1985 saw stuff like Galactus Warriors, Gradius, which is actually a really good shooter series. That's actually
like I said, I never got into it. Maybe I've got to go back.
It's hard as nails, but it's good. It's fun.
Maybe I'll go back and give it a try. There are some Gradius games on the Xbox Konami collection. I'll go and try.
Dripple's in here. What's up, Dripple?
Hey, what's up, brother Dread? Brother Mazen, I will go give Gradius a second look just for you.
Yeah, dude, you were going through a lot of stuff the last time I heard from you. Like there were floods and all that other stuff, and then you kind of went quiet for a while, and I always kind of wondered what happened, but I hadn't really heard much from you, so I figured you were just dealing with real life stuff, man. It's a ripoff story of Berserk series. We got Ikari Warriors. Is Ikari Warriors
no,
Konami?
That's not Konami.
I didn't think that was Konami.
No, that was Data East.
Was it? Okay.
Was it?
Wait a minute.
I think it was SNK. Let me look it up.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. SNK. My fault. SNK.
Commando, I thought was Capcom.
Oh,
Commando Capcom?
Wait.
Commando is Capcom.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. Ikari Warriors is... No, it's published by Data East. It's developed by SNK, but it's published by Data East.
Which one's that?
Ikari Warriors.
Oh, okay. Ikari Warriors is hit or miss, man. That game's kind of hard to love. Like, if you love it, it's great because it's got kind of a cool idea going for it, but it's...
You know what I loved about it?
It's kind of a tough game to love.
Okay, so in the arcade, it was published by SNK. On all the home systems, which it came out for everything, it was published by Data East. The thing about Ikari Warriors, and then its sequel, Heavy Barrel, is it had the dial because you could shoot all around you, which I thought was really cool. Anyway,
that's the sequel to Ikari Warriors was Ikari Warriors 2.
There is, but
I have played a Heavy Barrel somewhat recently. I guess it does play similar to Ikari
Yeah,
Warriors.
there's three. There was Ikari Warriors Victory Road. There was Ikari Warriors 3, and Heavy Barrel. I'm looking it up now. Before Heavy Barrel came out in '88.
Yeah, Ikari Warriors is tough. Like, I'm not even gonna joke.
Yeah.
Ikari Warriors is a very tough game. It's also kind of hard to love because it's a little clunky in controls. I love the isometric perspective and the fact that you can run around everywhere you want to. I think that's great. It's just a little difficult to aim sometimes.
Yeah.
Hey,
Heavy
I'll say
Barrel-
good to see you, man.
Yeah, Heavy Barrel was strictly Data East, and
Oh, I love
It
that.
looked
I
a lot
love
like
that
a card
icon.
holder.
I'm sorry, I'm distracted by everybody's icon.
All right, we've gotten off the Konami track again, though.
Really?
We have. I got distracted.
No, but Rob and I are distracting ourselves.
That's fine. 1987 had a litany of things that came in.
Blades of Steel,
Blades of Steel dropped.
Contra
dropped. Castlevania dropped.
Hyper Crash. I remember Hyper Crash. That was decent.
Don't remember Hyper Crash. Flak Attack.
Don't
That
remember
sounds
that.
oddly familiar. Life Force. I totally forgot about Life Force. That's a good game too. Man, it's hard. It's fun, but man, that's hard. 1988 saw Super Contra, Haunted Castle,
The main event.
Main Event, Final Round.
That was a
Ajax.
wrestling game. That was a wrestling game that I starting to remember. It was not bad. Wasn't too bad.
Ikari Warriors, I don't really want to put anybody through, man.
That is a difficult game to play.
It's a difficult game to love. It's kind of a struggle to love. I'm not gonna lie.
You really need a controller. You really need the dial controller for that. You really do. You can't.
Yeah, I could see that working better with like that disc controller. I can totally see that.
Yeah, on emulation, I can use like the triggers of a controller to turn you, but it's not the same.
No, it's not. So we're gonna move through some of these kind of quickly because they do stuff all the way through.
Hyper Sports,
here.
Konami 88.
We're gonna hit the highlights here. Mutant Ninja Turtles, 1989. Gradius 3.
Bottom of the
Gradius
ninth.
2, came out in 1988.
Bottom of the ninth was a fantastic arcade baseball game.
Let's see.
I did not realize that
Turtles in Time was 91. The Simpsons.
Sunset
Riders, which I totally
Riders.
forgot was them.
Yup.
I
said that earlier.
So all those came out the same year.
Yep. Pit Fighter.
Pit Fighter. I don't really have a whole lot of
Japan.
love for Pit Fighter. That one's
Nah,
kind of.
that one was Atari. X-Men. Lethal Enforcers.
Lethal Enforcers. I didn't realize it was them. That's a good liking game.
I forgot that was them.
G.I. Joe. I'm assuming this is the arcade game, which is excellent, by the way.
Yep.
If you haven't played it, the arcade game is excellent.
Yep.
Bucky O'Hare, which I know Yugo was a big fan of. He was trying to do a no death run on that on hard mode, which basically means you take one hit and you die. Let's see. Trying to keep up on comments and scroll this.
Yeah.
To die. I'd rather
die. Skirt. Oh, that's 720 degrees.
He likes it for the nostalgia, but it's cruddy.
Yeah. 720 is a much better game.
Hudson Soft had a lot of really good stuff too.
And Konami bought their library.
Let's see. 1984 was okay. Lethal Enforcers 2 is solid, but this is kind of a weak year for them.
Yep. Other than that, nothing.
1985. I don't recognize a lot of these. Dragoon Might sounds interesting. Killer sounds interesting.
Twin B, but I wasn't into their shmups as much.
Yeah. Salamander 2 in 1986. Let's see.
See, now they're sort of getting out of the.
They're starting to kind of like become a little more miss than hit.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, I don't think this list has Metal Gear, so I don't know where Metal Gear comes into this, but that
Metal Gear comes in soon.
Does it? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Rousing Heroes, Solar Assault.
Yeah. Now we're getting into basically we're getting
like
out of the arcade.
Yeah. So
Beat Mania.
Beat Mania.
Beat Mania was good. I had the Beat Mania oh no, it was Poppin' Music that I had the thing for that you hit. Dance Dance Revolution, that was a big one for them.
Lots of Dance Revolution.
Like Karaoke Evolution Karaoke Revolution was them too.
This is where they start going like popping
Silent
music, Guitar
Scope.
Freaks, dancing.
Dude, I forgot they did Silent Scope.
Oh yeah, Simpsons
Silent Scope,
Bowling, which I don't think was very good.
No, it wasn't. Right, let's see, hang in.
This is where they're making a ton of games.
Yeah,
but
Poppin'
most
Music
of these
7.
feel like they're like throwaway.
There's
tons of Beat
Yeah,
Mania,
Wolfpack, it was Beat
Drum
Mania all the way through high school for me too.
Yeah, Okay, so apparently Beat Mania was a lot more popular than I thought.
No,
Metal Gear was on the NES. I was thinking Metal Gear Solid was there, but they don't even list Metal Gear on here. So
World
Metal
Soccer
Gear's
winning
missing
11.
somehow.
Are they just listing
Lethal
arcade
Enforcers
games
3.
first, or are these?
So we're just going to say intermingled here was Metal Gear and Silent Hill, which I don't think either one of these are on here. And those became their two main franchises.
This looks a lot like
dance games.
I think Rob is right.
Arcade games.
Yeah, I think Rob's right
it
on
might
this.
be. It might be. So there's a lot of stuff missing from here. I may go and look and see if I can find like another list for them.
Poppin' Music 19.
But that gives you, let's see, Konami.
I'm sorry, I just read something else.
Yeah, Ultra Games counts as them as well because they basically published Ultra Games. Okay, is this the same thing? No, it's the same list. So I'm not finding a great list for Konami. I found a better list, or at least a genre list for Capcom. I thought this was a good list, but apparently it's missing a lot of stuff.
Go to Moby Games, mobygames.com. That is that's kind of that's my go-to source for everything.
Okay, go to my names then.
Yeah, Ultra Games, they would have had the Ninja Turtles games and Skate or Die, and they did a lot of the Game Boy. A lot of the Game Boy games were done under the Ultra line, also.
Right. So they're a little hard to track because they're under like two different names. So they're probably a lot more prolific. I would say most of the Turtles games, any of the Castlevania games that you were seeing on, say, any platform at that time was probably them. So they had a lot of stuff through there, and it seemed like after they dropped Silent Hill, they never picked that back up again. They did like 4 or 5. They did like 4 of those, didn't they?
I use this link. It'll get you to where you want to go.
Okay. Pull this up. Okay, here we go. Add this into the stream. It's a little harder for people to read, I think, but
yeah.
Okay.
If you can make your browser.
I don't know if I can zoom in or not. We're just going to scan these real quick because we hit all the Castlevanias, Life Force, Contra, Double Dribble, Blade, Steel, Goonies 2. I forgot about Goonies 2 was them.
Mm-hmm.
We'll hit 91 real quick. I don't
Missing
want
in action.
to get too bogged down on this.
Yeah.
Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Top Gun
Castlevania
on the
3.
NES.
Top Gun has a hate relationship with most people. Bayou Billy.
Speaking of hate.
Yeah, speaking of hate, there's Bayou Billy, the Gradius series.
So Tiny Toon Adventures.
The Predator games, Tiny Toon Adventures.
Yep.
Contra Force, which I don't remember.
Animaniacs.
Yes, they had a lot of the Warner Brothers licenses. They did Tiny Toons, the Animaniacs.
So,
they had the Batman
license
for a while.
A lot of the Batman games, Contra Hard Corps.
Yep.
Lethal Enforcers.
Do you mean Hardcore?
Zombies Ate My Neighbors.
Yeah,
that's another great one.
Hardcore. Yeah. That was the Genesis
one.
Where's Stampede?
Yeah. Right.
What's up, BFG? How's it going, man?
Hey, what's up, BFG? They also did Zombies Ate My Neighbors, which was a great game. And Snatcher for the Sega CD, which was one of the earlier Kojima games.
But I believe, although I am happy to give Konami credit for the zombies. I believe that was actually LucasArts that developed it.
Let me see. You might be right. It was
Okay,
developed by
so
LucasArts,
Silent
published by
Hill
Konami. You are
comes in
correct.
around 1999.
I mean, I still kind of count that as a Konami game. They don't really have too many incidents that I can think of where they're just a publisher, but
No, you're right though. What
So
else?
there's a solid amount of stuff through here.
Rocket Knight Adventures was a
Was that Konami?
phenomenal. Yeah, that was a phenomenal. That was, in fact, that was kind of one of Konami's big Genesis games. Remember how we were having that discussion 2 weeks ago about Konami really didn't put effort into the Genesis games? That was one of their
No, that's a solid game. It's a very tough game, but it's a beautiful game. It's executed perfectly. So around 2000, you're hitting around 99. You're hitting Metal Gear and Silent Hill.
Bottom of the ninth, which I still need to find a copy for next time I see a copy for Saturn. I'm getting it.
So you've got a lot of sports games in here.
Crypt Killer? They did Crypt Killer?
Apparently they did Crypt Killer.
Yes, they did. Holy crap.
Gradius games are still a thing. They're still pushing those. Circle of the Moon. So they're still doing some Castlevania.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of bouncing around here because I don't want to spend like 3 hours going over this and not get into Capcom.
International Track and Field, which was out for
Contra again. Whiteout. I thought that was Wipeout for a second. Bomberman is theirs as well.
Yes, because they acquired all the assets from Hudson Soft, so they own
technically Bonk is them now too.
Yes.
More Ninja Turtles. A Gradius collection came out. Later on, they start just doing collections, but they had a lot of Metal Gear. They had a lot of Castlevania.
They also had
a solid amount of Bomberman.
Yep. They also had the ESPN licensing for like the X Games stuff. So they had like skateboarding and snowboarding. They actually had they had the ESPN license before Sega got it.
Right. So if we move to, like, say, Capcom, because I just want to actually get into Capcom here.
Yep. And then, yep.
I'm assuming this one right here.
Mm-hmm. And then if you go down.
So you have like a massive. That's just 2021.
Yeah. So see where it says click here to view the complete list. Scroll down a little bit, right at the bottom. Yep.
Okay. So Capcom's kind of ridiculous.
It's true.
And then sort by year.
Well, yeah, they went back to forward.
I agree with that. They at least need to put out.
It's fine.
Some Hudson compilations like they have been for the Konami.
They need to
absolutely.
Or sell that stuff to somebody and let.
Yeah, they need to do something with it. Other than I did not enjoy that Bomberman game that they put out. So
one on the Switch, you mean?
It was a cross-platform, but it had some Konami characters in it, and I just didn't like it at all. I think Dracula was.
Are you talking about Super Bomberman R?
Yeah,
I liked it. I didn't like the online version. I kind of liked it for what it was.
Like, I don't love Bomberman period in general. I like it just fine. Like, it's not a series that I go nuts over, but
I'll say it. I've never been sucked in by Bomberman ever.
I used to love Bomberman. I played the hell out of Bomberman. And you know, for which that shall not be named right now. I really can't wait for Dyna Blaster.
Right.
So,
okay, Section Z,
right.
Commando, Ghosts and Goblins, Gunsmoke.
Yeah.
Commando and Gunsmoke are both excellent games. Ghosts and Goblins
is
just a tough game. Legendary Wings. Oh, I love that game. Legendary Wings is amazing. Commando.
So Capcom,
Tiger Road, Mega Man, Street Fighter.
Capcom is where my shmup love comes in, because other than Data East, which did a lot of good shmups, Capcom had per capita the best shmup.
The 1942 series.
Oh my goodness, fantastic!
And is that what you're specifically referring to?
1942.
Because the only one I can think of is the UN Squadron game.
Well, that was on SNES. No, the 1942 series was just really.
Because I would say, and it just has to do with my own preference.
Legendary Wings was also
horizontal.
Good. Legendary Wings is fantastic. That's a great game.
I would say that I prefer the Gradius series to the 1942 spaceships are better than Earth planes anyway. So
The only thing I can say about 1942 versus Gradius is I kind of have a bit more of affinity for a vertical shooter versus a horizontal shooter.
and I'm the opposites. That's probably why I lean more towards
Yeah.
I'll choose a horizontal any day of the week. It doesn't matter what.
I mean, I like them both, but I tend to lean a little bit more towards vertical.
Yeah, but if I was gonna if I was gonna do that, I'd go SNK for that because there are some really hot SNK shmups like Ghost Pilots and Alpha
Jan,
Mission.
I don't know how to answer this one for you, man. I think they just saw Pachinko as a better moneymaker for them, and they put most of their eggs in that basket. They're starting to make compilations and stuff like that now, which is great. Hopefully they'll get back into some more development, but I just don't think they were seeing the revenue there. So
I also I think it's easy for us to.
It's true.
I think it's easy for us Americans
kinda
to
true.
underestimate how big Pachinko is to Japan. Like
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah,
Like it,
Although
probably
it's
more
going-
successful than our most successful video game
Yeah.
properties.
most definitely.
So
So-
in 1984 to 1987 alone, Capcom was kind of killing it.
Yeah, Bionic
'Cause-
Commando was
Yeah,
in there.
1942, you had Section Z, which is actually pretty solid. Commando, Ghost and Goblins, Gunsmoke, Sidearms, Trojan, Legendary Wings, Avengers, which is actually pretty solid. I watched Stampede play through that, and it was actually pretty solid looking. Bionic Commando, Tiger Road, 1943, The Battle of Midway, Street Fighter comes out, Mega Man comes out, Forgotten Worlds.
Street Fighter, the original Street Fighter sucked.
Original Street Fighter is trash. I
Yeah,
won't even try to defend that one.
no, it's
So
garbage.
you move into, this is 89 to 88. You have
Strider.
Ghouls and
Oh,
Ghosts,
I
Mega Man
forgot.
2,
Yep. Strider
uh,
was so good.
Strider is another
Final-
good one. Willow,
Final
which
Fight.
a lot of people, I've seen a lot of people playing. That looks like a really good
Willow was good. Willow was
Zelda-like
based.
game.
Wasn't that based on? That wasn't based on the movie, right?
It was.
I thought it was.
Was it?
Yeah, I think it was.
Loosely
Fight.
based on the Final Fight. Man, my Sega CD
Burks.
Final Fight is still the best. And they had the
And
Disney license
DuckTales.
for a while. Yeah, they had the Disney license for a good while.
Yes, they did. So DuckTales is in there, 1990. You've got 1941, which is another shooter.
Mhm.
Adventures in the Magic Kingdom. Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers.
Yeah.
Those are both great. Gargoyles Quest. That was an excellent game. One of Jim's favorites, who's not here tonight, sadly. Street Fighter 2010, The Final Fight, which is actually not a Street Fighter fighting game, but a side-scrolling action platformer.
Yes.
Mega Man 3. Let's see. Arcade Bluff Posters. Captain Commando,
Yeah.
which is actually that's a fun beat 'em up. Street Fighter 2, The World Warrior, which is where a lot of my love for Capcom comes from.
And there it is.
Later
Yep.
on, because Street Fighter was huge for me back in the day.
Yep. That was
Like
a game
all of them.
changing. It's a game changing game.
Super Ghouls and Ghosts comes out. Disney's Little
Yeah.
Mermaid, Mega Man, Wally's Revenge. Let's see, Tailspin. That was another solid one. Mega Man 4. Looks like Bionic Commando 2 gets another release on.
See, for me, this is where they start. This is where they start kind of dipping out of quality for me, because now they're just throwing out, different versions of their own games. They're doing a lot of the Disney stuff, and the Disney stuff is decent, but this is where they start losing it for me.
Gargoyles Quest 2. You got Championship Edition Street Fighter. Street Fighter 2 had like 80 million versions. I love them all. Aladdin. Mega Man
That was
3,
the arcade
Street Fighter
Aladdin.
Turbo.
Or the SNES Aladdin, rather.
Mhm.
Let's see, Mega Man 2 Power Fighters, never even heard of that one. Alpha series started launching. Mega Man X series starts to drop in. Demon's Crest, that's another good game. Darkstalkers, that's an excellent fighter. Mickey Mania, that's actually a really interesting platformer. There's Magical Quest 3. Resident Evil drops.
Here's where Resident Evil drops.
That's 1996. Let's go back to 96.
No.
There. Dungeons and Dragons Shadow over Mysteria. That's an amazing beat 'em up. Love that one. I'm trying to keep up with both sides here, and I'm having trouble doing it. Pardon me,
It's
guys.
okay, Nick. I think anyone who's actually picked a side here knows what games they like for Konami or Capcom.
Yeah.
So it's okay.
There's a lot in here that I didn't
don't really need
realize
to-
or I had forgotten about. There's a lot of Street Fighter in here. There's a lot going on in 2001. They start getting into Monster Hunter. That is either you love that, you either understand that series and you love that series, or you hate that series. Devil May Cry.
Devil May Cry. Power Stone is in here.
Power Stone.
Dino Crisis. Those are
Dino
good games.
Crisis.
Giga Wing. I give Giga Wing.
Giga Wing.
Yep.
I'm gonna start going through Phoenix Wright. That's an amazing series. The Phoenix Wright series. I love that series. Beautiful Joe. Just gonna jump around a little bit. Like 8 million versions of Street Fighter 4.
Yeah.
Lost Planet. Strider again. That's the 2014 one. That one's amazing. And that was done by Digital Devolver. The Luigi's Mansion Arcade. They did that one. That's interesting. I didn't.
They've got a couple of Nintendo games on here that they ported over to handhelds.
Street Fighter 5, Monster Hunter World, Resident Evil 3.
Oh, now you're heading into the
Ace Attorney Collection, all the Monster Hunter story stuff and things like that. Yeah, I'm kind of skipping around because we're like an hour and two in, and we hadn't even covered like both of them because we spent a lot of time on Konami that I had to play catch up on this and not bore the crowd to tears. So right now, Konami is heavily in the lead with 26 votes in. They have 77%. I still kind of hang with Capcom because they have some of my favorite franchises of all time. With the Street Fighter series, you've got the Monster Hunter series, which took me a while to get into, but I love it now. You've got like Ghosts and Goblins and Ghouls and Ghosts, Demon's Crest, and all those. They had tons of stuff that I loved. Legendary Wings was phenomenal.
I do love how Moby Games also lists all the DLC stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous.
That's funny. I'm telling you, this is my compendium. This I don't know how.
Triples Konami is the wrong answer.
No, it is not, sir.
So for me, it leans more into Capcom, and that more or less comes down to the fact that I was a huge fighting game junkie, and they have done most of my favorite fighting game series with the Marvel vs. Capcom series, the Darkstalkers series, the Street Fighter series. They've had a lot of other games in there like DuckTales and a bunch of other stuff that was just Breath of Fire is them as well. That's another really good series. Resident Evil, while I never got into it, has had a huge impact on culture as a whole. So has the Monster Hunter series. Like Commando, Gunsmoke, those are shooters that I loved when I was a kid, and I can still pick up and play and have a good time with those. Bionic Commando is notorious for being like one of the few games that you can actually jump in, but works incredibly well. So you've got a long list of stuff.
Were you able to jump in Bionic Commando, or did you just use your arm?
Not.
Yeah, that's what I thought. You had to use your grab. Right.
You couldn't use it at all. Matter of fact, I used it as an example in one of my mechanics videos. But an example of working around a jump mechanic with a different mechanic.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yep. So you got your Mega Man series, you got your Mega Man X series, which I have my own love-hate relationship with, but I still
do Dead Rising.
Yeah, they did Dead Rising. Dead Rising is theirs as well.
Rising.
So there's tons of good stuff here, and that's kind of why I tend to lean towards Capcom. And a lot of it is kind of just like my fighting game pedigree from when I was younger, but they have many other things in here that I feel like don't get utilized enough or need to come back. And Konami's the same way. Konami hasn't done anything in years. And I'd love to see both of these guys come back and do a big comeback, quite frankly, because there's a gobsmacking amount of IPs that both of these own.
Oh my goodness, yes.
They go all the way back to like the 1980s that people would still love to play today, either in collections or in brand new titles. Like Beautiful Joe only got 2 titles, and then it completely went away. Except for I think it had one foray on the 3DS.
I think it had 4. I think it had
Did it have more?
Beautiful Joe 1 and 2, and then
there was a DS
something about
3DS
Rumble, and then a DS game. But there was a Rumble game that might have been a fighting game because there was a third mysterious Beautiful Joe game that I have only just kind of heard of.
4 games in the series. There's Beautiful Joe 2, Beautiful Joe Double Trouble, and Beautiful Joe Red Hot Rumble.
That's it.
Yeah, if you go into the fighter genre, Scepter's right. Konami will never win. Like, they can't. It's impossible for them. One, they don't.
No, they didn't, because they didn't put any fighters out.
I think they did a few, because I think there was like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles tournament.
And
I think they might have done that one.
You're right.
Which isn't necessarily a bad fighting game, but it's one of the few I could think of that I contribute to them.
Now, I will say, though, they had a great wrestling game in Rumble Roses, which I have on the Xbox 360.
Rumble Roses was an interesting game, and it was kind of like the Dead or Alive of wrestling games. It was fun. I had a lot of fun with it.
It was technical, though.
It was. It was a very tough game to play. I had a very hard time getting good at that game, and that was primarily because I always sucked at wrestling games, like forever. I've never understood them, so I've never been able to get into them. I've just struggled with them constantly.
Still play it, and it's backward compatible on the Xbox Series X. So
nice.
Man, Wolfpack. Oh, Wolfpack is going nuts here. He's all in Capcom. No, Nami. No. All right, Rob. What about you? Where are you leaning?
Other than Mega Man, I love Mega Man. I think that's kind of my thing that I'm kind of known for. I don't love all Mega Man games, so there aren't really a whole lot of series and games I absolutely love from Capcom compared to, like, I'm Konami all the way. I probably like the Castlevania series more than Mega Man series.
It's definitely more consistent.
I love Gradius. I wrote down some games that I actually so I guess overall I say I really like the Mega Man series. Ghosts and Goblins, I like it. I like the idea of Darkstalkers. I like some Resident Evil games. I love Resident Evil 4. I like the Disney NES games. And I like the Bionic Commando. I love Gradius. I love Contra. I love Castlevania. I love the Ninja Turtles games. I like the Konami arcade games. I like I think Konami has better music. I think they have better graphics. Excuse me. So I'm Konami all the way. I voted for Konami on all these polls. I wore a shirt just kind of be topical and maybe throw some people off. But I'm. No question for me.
See, I will say this. As much as I love Capcom and I stick by my decision on that, it is primarily for the fighters. Because as far as consistency goes, when Konami was making series, most of their series were more consistent. Castlevania series is more consistent than the Mega Man series. The Contra series is overall more consistent than most of the Capcom series that came out. When you go outside of fighters, right? When you start talking about fighting games, Capcom is very consistent and very solid throughout every single one they've made. Like, if you wanted a quality fighter back in the day, you bought Capcom.
Capcom may well be the king of fighters.
Yeah.
Right.
See what I did there?
And
hey,
the only one that's really challenged them was
honestly
Midway.
With SNK. I
would say Midway with Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, but I'd also say SNK.
SNK was a good contender, but it would never really caught on like Mortal Kombat did, at least in the States.
No, you're right. But
they have good technical fighters, and they've come much further along now.
Samurai Showdown was probably pound for pound is easy.
Which one? I'm sorry, what?
Samurai Showdown was probably as close as I could. I mean, King of Fighters was good, but it wasn't to me. It wasn't as good as Street Fighter, but Samurai Showdown was unbelievable.
See, King of Fighters is the one that most people go to with them now, and not so much. World Fighters was kind of another one, but I think World Fighters was like more Neo Geo.
Yeah, they did. Well, Neo Geo was SNK.
Right.
I mean, Samurai Showdown is what everybody.
Samurai Showdown suffers from a struggle of like one hit insta kills, and that kind of pisses off a player base. You either love that or you hate that, and most people don't like that in their fighters. So it tends to become a little
Maybe.
And see, Dreadpool's Mortal Kombat is king. Usually when you talk like mainstream fighters these days, for the most part, you kind of got two camps. You got Mortal Kombat versus Street Fighter. To an extent, you've got Killer Instinct in there, which
not anymore.
Which is amazing.
It is, but
they've only had like 3 titles ever, so they're not nearly as prolific.
Yeah, and
SNK,
Microsoft so dropped the ball on. They were developing Killer Instinct and doing an unbelievable job, and then the development studio that was developing it got bought by Amazon, and they never got anybody to pick it up and really run with it. That's a shame.
Yeah. And it really does need to come back. I think they need to find another developers that's passionate about it. They can kind of pick up where Iron Galaxy left off, because Iron Galaxy is a hard act to follow because the new Killer Instinct is super technical.
Yes.
Like, it's insanely technical. Each character has different traits and abilities on top of different move sets and different timings. So it takes that level of depth like even further than I've seen it go before. And I've seen some dumb stuff in fighting games over the years.
The chat's kind of going in a direction where I think we need to do a fighting game.
We need to do like a fighting game one at this point. I'm totally okay with that.
I'm good with that.
I'm absolutely okay throwing down on fighting games.
Especially considering I in the last couple months of my video game monthly boxes, I've gotten some dynamite fighting games.
Yeah, you got MK9, which was where after the franchise had kind of tapered and gotten way too complicated and a little bit too stringent on movesets. They rebooted it with 9, fixed this, kind of streamlined the storyline again and moved from there, and have kept a consistent storyline from there, which I thought was fantastic. 10 is the hardest one for me to go back and play because it's so fast. Particularly after playing 11 so long, it's very difficult to go back and play 10 again. Yeah, because 10 is kind of like on crack. I agree. It's super fast.
But I tell you, that 9, I'd forgotten how good that is.
Yeah, 9, 10, and 11 are all amazing.
Yeah, and 11's in Game Pass if anyone wants to try it. So
11 is totally worth throwing down and trying out. If you don't want a faster fighting game, you want something that's a little bit slower, that has kind of consistent combo design.
Yep.
MK11 is a good entry point. It does get really technical. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of technical stuff in there, but a lot of them are couple button combo, like 3, maybe 4 hits into like a special. You can amplify that to where you can get a better extra bounce or something like that, so you can continue the combo, and then usually it terminates, or you can do like one more round with it if you want to burn all of your bar. So it's kind of, once you start understanding the system, it's pretty easy to work with.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like Street Fighter has a higher bar of entry as far as like spacing, move sets, how combos work, why they don't work. There's a lot of weird stuff in Street Fighter that, as I've gotten further along in my life, I'm like, this is kind of frustrating. To get good at. Like, I understand it from a base standpoint, but really getting good at Street Fighter takes a very long time.
All right,
but it makes the most money.
That's going to be our next.
That's probably our next one. We're doing in the poll here. It was a landslide for Konami, obviously. It was like 71, 77%, 76 to 23. So there's quite a lot going on there. We've gone about an hour and 14 minutes on this. Is there anything else anybody else wanted to talk on this? Because we kind of deviated into fighters. Go.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind giving my
pick.
I figured I said you were Konami. I thought you'd already said you were Konami.
No, I said go ahead, Rob.
Okay, I'm sorry, go.
That's right. That is how it happened.
Yeah, I'm Konami.
Okay.
And why?
And why?
I was just gonna say I'm Konami, just so Nick can. No, Konami wins. Friendship. So while there are some fantastic games that came out of Capcom, there really were, but I feel like they overloaded themselves with sequels and sequels and sequels and sequels instead of trying to move things forward with stuff that they should have done sequels on. So people have been calling for another Dino Crisis, for example, forever, and I don't think they're going to do it. And while they had some great arcade games too, like Commando and Bionic, I mean, Commando itself is such a classic for me. Konami, pound for pound, had more games that I just outright loved. You know, like in the beginning of the show, I went back farther than Castlevania because I could, because that's what I remembered.
Hey,
like,
Brosa, good to see you, man.
Brosby, what's up? Is it Brosby or is it just Brosib?
I call him Broseb, but maybe I'm doing it wrong. I have no idea.
You might be. It might be Brosib. So, Brosib or Brosby? Tell us which one it is, so I don't call you the wrong thing.
I'll probably still do it wrong. I'm terrible.
Jason this entire
Oh,
time.
I'm horrible about it. But, I mean, Konami through the you have to remember too, while Capcom had a lot of the great Nintendo licensing, Disney licenses, I wasn't a Nintendo guy. So by the time I got to see Disney stuff, it was seeing Disney stuff in the Genesis, which was then published by Sega. So I really didn't care about that licensing. Well, it's not. It
Yeah, Zombie, I thought this one would be a lot closer personally.
Maybe
I
it's
really
B
did.
Rose B? B Rose B. Maybe it's B Rose B. Maybe we're both wrong. It is spelled though. You just literally he's fucking with me.
I don't think he's fucking with you. I think he's just corrected you and you're reading it wrong in a new
No,
way.
Rose B. Rose B. I'm literally reading it, and he just said, "Well, it's not spelt," and he spelt it the way he just spelt it. Look, bring that one thing up. Bring the second.
He said it's not spelt Bros B. He was specifically calling you out on it.
It was
wrong,
pretty
Mike.
Oh no, not. Oh my God, he's mucking with me. I'm telling you.
Like Joseph, but Broseph.
See, Scepter says Mike has a point. See, Scepter, I'm not crazy. Wolfpack says put a poll up.
Yeah.
It's Brosby, not
You're not doing a poll on his name, dude. He knows how he pronounces his online name.
I need to know now. Okay. So anyway, so that is why I'm picking Konami. Konami just overall, pound for pound, has the better. Yeah, whatever the poll says, that's what his name is from now on. So anyway, that's why I picked Capcom. It's literally or Konami. See, now you got me all screwed up. That's why I picked Konami. It really does have the better. See, exactly. It really has the better. Let the poll decide.
Fine, we'll do a poll.
Hold on. But the B at the end
You
could still be a hard
for the
B.
chat, though.
Phonetically speaking, it still could be. Bros B. It's still, oh my God.
I hear you. I get what you're saying, Mike. But on topic.
Okay.
I totally agree with what you're saying. Capcom actually makes some really, really good games, but they stagnate, and they actually, and everyone knows that they do it. They have a reputation for doing this. You
wanted to poll.
For fuck's sake! Here we go. Brozeb. I'm voting for Brozeb.
They both say the same thing to me.
Just because you're dyslexic does not make you correct, sir.
No. Oh my God. Rose P.
Everybody's excited about the new poll.
You know what? I'm voting for it, and I'm still. Oh my God.
Well, we've got 10 votes, and it's Brosep. It's 60%. Now it's
I
55.
don't know how he
Okay.
spells his name.
I didn't even spell it like that.
And certain people are just confused. I think we confused Celestial. Our viewership jumped as soon as we started discussing this nonsense.
They said vote with your heart. They said vote with your
With your
heart.
I think that slanted it more against you guys because now it's 64%
You know,
Brosep.
the third option should have been Sega.
Hopper make a good point here.
Oh my goodness.
My God. I felt Brosep had better video games, but you can't deny the quality for both fighting games. Oh God, I love her chat.
This is fantastic. Hold back Hitler to
Deciding someone's fate. Choose wisely.
It'll be the end of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. You have chosen poorly.
Poorly. It's the only time I've ever seen a skeleton explode.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Vote with your bros B. Vote Brosep. Oh my God, I'm gonna have to start using polls more.
Oh my God.
God, people are having way too much fun with this.
You want
to bros B with your fries.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Oh my God. Oh,
This
we've
was
totally
the real
lost the
debate.
plot.
This was the real
It's
debate.
not about the bros in the end, but about the process we vote on. It's really matter.
Oh
You
man,
win today, Brosep.
I swear to God, he's gonna leave this show and he's just gonna go and he's gonna sit down and he's gonna go, fuck that Mike Mullis guy. God damn it.
Well, good bros be to you, sir.
My brows beating my handle. This could be the greatest last 10 minutes of any of our shows.
I saw me putting Roberman saying, Lord Brosep, rise!
That's Lord Brosby. Right. Thanks for including me as a segment. He said, thanks for including me as a segment.
It's oddly, this is way closer than our original poll. It's like 56% Brosep, 44% Brosby.
Oh my God! Which one
Oh
of us?
my God!
Which one of us could turn a darker shade of red and laugh at our ass off? Oh my God! Brosbies before Brosbies. Broses before hoses.
And a Brosby of time.
Put up Hasselhoff's. No,
where
go
is
put up
Hassel?
Hasselhoff's last one.
Brosets before hoses. Oh wow! I did not mean to.
Rob is just.
I mean, I was not trying to sing you
Oh
up,
man, really sorry, Brosby.
Hey, Games, good to see you, man. We totally lost the plot, man.
Yeah, you're in the wrong show.
Yeah, we're not actually on topic in here in this.
We totally lost the topic, but I think that was the general.
What do you do bring
consensus
the
as well,
Castlevania and Mega Man?
Rob isn't laughing. Rob
That's
hasn't
true.
laughed for like 10 minutes. He's like, "What the hell is going on?"
Yeah,
We're
just
we're not doing the Capcom Konami thing. Okay.
no. It's all about Brosep right now.
Oh,
The Bruce
it's not
B.
fair.
and
It
Nash.
is not fair how you spelled it in the poll. Let's be honest here. It's not fair.
That's how it was spelled in the chat.
No.
By nose B. And suddenly Games comes in with a topic comment.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
absolutely,
God.
I
man.
voted
We,
Hasselhoff. I voted Brosep.
Rob's rolling his eyes so far back that he can see yesterday. I'm gonna have to remember that one. Oh shit, Wolfpack! I am stealing that. Oh my god, I am stealing that one. Oh my god, that's the greatest. Oh my goodness.
All right, we're gonna end the poll.
What's up,
It's
Hector?
Bros.
Alright.
It's
Just in
Brosib, by the
time.
way.
All right, so it's Brosib.
Yeah, it's Brosib.
Brosib.
Hey Hector, how you doing, man?
Yeah,
we
you're
totally
late,
lost the
Hector.
plot about
Yeah.
15, 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
When Brosib came in and Mike had a question about his name, so apparently we had to do a
Brosby came
poll to
in
decide his
and-
name, which is nonsensical, but we had finished up the main topic at that point,
Right.
so we figured what the heck, people were having fun with it.
He said this is my greatest stream ever. Oh my goodness. Oh.
And it was actually far, far closer than anything else we did tonight. It was like 52,
Yeah.
42, 47.
Oh, by
Which
the
is
arrows,
ridiculous. Oh,
We'll get
I
that.
would never upload a video that names something wrong.
Well, sir, welcome to RetroRoots.
We were on plot for about an hour.
We did our requisite.
We did. We went to the topic. We spent about an hour going over the both of them.
more than that. Oh, everyone will be, hey, remember RetroRoots topic from last night? It was the I swear, no, look. Oh my god. I don't
Games is
understand.
struggling to like pull the boat back on course.
Bros. B. I don't understand why people are thinking that I spelled it differently. I don't. Why are people? Oh my god!
I get it. I'm with you. I saw what you
I
were.
was like, I gave up playing Earthworm Jim for this.
Oh my god! Oh,
I have Twin Peaks on pause right now, guys. Come on.
oh
I
my
get it.
goodness.
If he wanted it, why wouldn't he put it like?
But I get it now. So no.
Some
So
people just
so,
don't capitalize their names for some reason.
Yeah, just.
I honestly, Jan, I think that's going to be our next one.
So
I think that's what we're going to do next.
Yeah.
Well, we're just going to go into fighting games in general. It didn't necessarily have to be retro, but just fighting games in general. It would probably be more retro ones because those are the ones that most people know, and those are most of the ones that are around now. There have been some new ones that have come out, like oh god, I'm drawing a blank on the name of it right now. Grand Blue Fantasy was one of them. There was something like Bloody Water or something like that. I've got it in my game library. The Power Rangers one, which is really good. Them's Fighting Herds, which is goofy and funny. That one's just fun. But there's a bunch of like off the wall ones that I'll bring up as like notable mentions, just for rare ones that people don't necessarily know. That I've dove into here and there. Tekken and DOA and Soul Calibur obviously be on all that. So a lot of that'll be on there. So yeah, we're definitely going to do something like that. So I kind of want to do that, Hector.
Yeah,
I'll be honest. I just
Yeah.
don't know when and how to schedule it.
Yeah,
And I
that's-
kind of want to pick one that not a lot of people know, so everybody's kind of like struggling with it at the same time. You Super Mario Bros. B.
Oh my god. Wolfpack says, great stream, guys. Tons of fun. Wait till you see what we have for episode 40. Wait, there's a Battlefield Night 2042 update
I
tonight
guess so.
that makes it playable and
Maybe.
fun.
I don't know. I never really heard
wait a
great
minute.
things about that one, but I'm
Wait a
kind of
minute.
out of the loop on Battlefield. I never got into it.
Carla, what system are you playing Battlefield 2042 on? If you say
Clear house
say-
hot.
if you say Xbox,
Night, Hasselhoff.
I gotta
Thanks
get
for
you
popping
added.
in, man.
Good night, brother Hasselhoff. Let's see you on Thursday. Because I still have time left in my trial on EA.
I guess I need to get excited for it since I still own the game.
Oh well, hell!
Hector's
all
on
right, hey,
Xbox, so I'm guessing Carla's on Xbox.
well, hold on. Hector and Carla. Shit, add me on XBL.
Oh,
She's
she
got
bought
Xbox.
it on both,
She bought
both
it twice.
systems. Okay, she's been having a lot of fun with it then.
Made her more than me.
Brother.
It's the Macho Bros. Yeah, it's cheap now, and it'll be free very soon because it's destined to come to Game Pass. So
yeah, it probably will.
yeah, as soon as it gets on Game Pass, I'll and if the update's any good, I'll get to it.
There's Del Jones in after this. Wow, she's level 100.
Oh my goodness.
All right, so
Oh my God.
any last
All right.
thoughts for tonight, guys? Because we should probably wrap this up. We've been going
Yeah.
for like an hour and a half.
Data East.
Do what?
Data East.
Konami wins.
I'm sticking Team Capcom.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's 2-on-1 on this one.
I love both of them, but overall I think I play more Capcom stuff.
I get why though. I mean, I get the reason for it. I totally understand why. So
yeah, they're both legendary companies. I love stuff from both of them. Oh, hey Joe, how's it going, man?
Hey, John,
you came in like right at the end, man. We're just now wrapping up.
Yeah, like literally right at the end.
That's partially why none of us popped on your stream tonight, man, because we were in here. I saw your stream start, and I'm like, wow, John's got a stream going. I'm like, well, I'm here.
Yeah, and he had to pick Saturn shmups on a night that I'm over here. Fine, that's fine.
Yeah, see, he's gone from Konami to Capcom, and see, I kind of started Capcom and stayed Capcom, though there's tons of stuff I love from Konami as well.
Well, the biggest issue is that Capcom has kept going. That's the thing about Capcom.
Absolutely.
Konami has fizzled out, and that's definitely an issue.
It's not even so much fizzled out; they're still making plenty of money. But the problem is they just need to actually get back into doing any kind of game development. If they went back and properly brought Silent Hill back, tried to get Metal Gear back on track, which is going to be really hard without Kojima. Even started to bring stuff back like Contra the appropriate way, not with the
with the
thing.
Now they are
a Contra game,
right? Yeah. And started bringing back some of their older franchises. They could make a big comeback.
They need to take
a lot
a
of
page
those
from what Capcom is doing. Capcom had like the same role that Konami has right now, where they just had kind of lost the plot. And I don't know if they just kind of got under new management or something, but they started just going back to their
oh, I got you, Hector.
Going back to their roots with the Ghosts and Goblins and Mega Man and all that kind of stuff. So Capcom is showing Konami what to do, and it seems like Konami is kind of taking the hand a little bit with that. I think those compilations they're putting out are.
I think that Turtles collection is going to be phenomenal. I'm really
Cowabunga collection.
I'm excited about
absolutely.
That. But they also need to take the next step and make a new Castlevania game. Make like you said, a real Contra game.
Oh, there's Hugo. What's up, Hugo? Good to see you, man. I know you were here before, and then I think we lost you for a while. So you came in like right at the very tail end.
See, another issue they had was they had arguably and it's funny, now would be a great time to really bring it back. They had a
I could see that, John. I'm tempted to do something similar to that myself. Just because I think it's going to be an awesome collection. And the same way with the new Turtles game that's coming out as well. Shredder's Revenge looks like it's shaping to be amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm getting both of those. But Konami had a great soccer game that rivaled FIFA in a lot of ways, but didn't have kind of the marketing muscle that EA did. And they turned it into a free-to-play game called eFootball. And what they need to get back to doing their Pro Evolution Soccer. I think that's a winner for them.
I think it's supposed to be late this year, John. Every time I look it up, I don't have a firm date.
Hold on, I'll find it. I thought that they did have a.
I'm looking it up now.
Yeah, they announced the ship date.
This is 2022. That's all I see when I look it up. So this year, sometime. I don't know. I mean, it looks pretty much ready, but they kept adding characters. Like I think Splinter's available. April's available. All four of the Turtles. I don't know who else they're gonna. I imagine they're probably gonna have some DLC where they'll add, like maybe the frogs, like Genghis and all those. Maybe Usagi, stuff like that. That would be kind of cool.
Here's a weird thing, though. Shredder's.
I love that you've seen Zoolander. That makes me happy.
Yes. Shredder's Revenge, though, by the way, is not Konami. It's Dotemu.
I find that interesting. Well, the license isn't owned by Konami anymore.
No,
it's Nickelodeon now.
I think it's owned by Nickelodeon
Viacom.
now.
It's owned by Viacom. Yeah.
So I mean, you can do a lot more with it now. Which is great because you can get a lot of other developers involved in.
Well,
thank you for popping in, man. We appreciate it.
It's the same developer. It's the same developer who did the Streets of Rage 4.
Yeah, I was actually hoping they would go cel shaded with it this time because I think that would look really good for Turtles. Don't get me wrong. I love the 16-bit aesthetic that they're going for. I would just like to see like maybe an option to turn on like cel shaded just so you can play around with both. I think that would be a lot of fun.
Kind of also like what they did with Battletoads.
Right.
Yeah, this says Dotemu presents in association with Nickelodeon, a game by Tribute Games. So yeah, it's definitely not Konami. The Cowabunga collection is because it's all the old Konami games.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I mean, it's going to be an awesome game. And Dotemu proved themselves to me with Streets of Rage 4. So
absolutely. I think another one we need to talk about is beat 'em ups too.
Yeah, we need to do it.
I think that's another one that we need to do. And we also need to do something on TurboGrafx. Because I know DJC wanted to be on one. And if we do like a solely focused Genesis one or something like that, we need to get like John on here. Because we've done like a Versus one and we've done a Dreamcast one, but I don't know if we've ever done the straight Genesis or even Saturn or anything like that. Saturn will mostly be like you and John talking. I can't really speak too much to Saturn because I never really get to play it.
Yeah, we kind of covered Saturn a bit. I mean, I can always talk Saturn.
Streets of Rage versus Final Fight. I don't know. I played more Streets of Rage than I have Final Fight.
I gotta go. I gotta go Streets of Rage, but Final Fight is still it's Streets of Rage. There was just something about the soundtrack is just what makes that game.
Yeah.
But my Final Fight on Sega CD is just it's sublime. It's like having the arcade in your house.
You know, Big Block, I don't know. I think given the number of games that are in there and so many of them being beat 'em ups, they'll be fun to kind of go back and replay. I think some of them are just going to be a nostalgia trip. I agree. But I think we need to call it here. We've slowly been kind of bleeding people because we're getting way late and long in the tooth. It's kind of late. But we also finished up the topic and we mostly just been talking about things that are coming out. So let's go ahead and wrap it up here. Thank you, everybody who popped in, tuned in, no matter how long you tuned in. We love it that you guys come in, that you have interest in the show. You guys are awesome. You guys are all awesome. Thank you so much for hanging out. And we will definitely have a few more of these Maybe not on this, but I'm thinking we're probably going to definitely do fighters and beat 'em ups. Those are probably on the docket. I don't know when. Probably sooner rather than later. Usually, once we get an idea, we kind of tend to run with it because we usually can just do that, and then you guys get involved, and it becomes like a whole even better thing than even what we would have planned out, which is fantastic. That's the way we love this show to run because we love engaging with you guys on that. But I think for right now, we're just going to call it a night and say, happy gaming.
Good
Play on, gamers.
Night.
Goodbye.